What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, daily news report on what's going on with the United States, what's going on in Washington, D.C., money, investing, and pretty much everything you need to know about what's going on in Afghanistan with the unfolding situation there, what's going on with the $3.5 trillion stimulus package, which will be the largest stimulus package yet to date. We're going to be talking about what's going on with that. Senator Bernie Sanders, who is fighting not only against the Republicans, but also against his own party. Some members of his own party, the Democrats, want to have the stimulus package be a little bit smaller, while a lot of Democrats want to have the next stimulus package be larger, and they're currently squabbling on the size of the next stimulus package, as well as what will be in the next stimulus package, as well as the eviction moratorium that was just overturned by the Supreme Court, and they're now deciding what to do. We actually got a lot to talk about in this video, so let's jump right in. If you're finding these new videos helpful, don't forget to give these videos a like, and remember that new videos come out here every day on our channel at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so you don't miss out on new updates. Let's jump right in. Okay, President Biden says that U.S. health officials are now considering the virus vaccine booster shots, that you might be able to get a booster shot or a third shot for Pfizer and Moderna at 5 months now instead of 8 months. They're considering this. It's not official yet. Moving the timeline up for a third shot of Pfizer or Moderna, possibly a second shot for the Johnson & Johnson vaccine in the future. You might be able to get these in the future at 5 months for the Pfizer and Moderna. Again, a second shot for Johnson & Johnson has not been confirmed yet. But new data out of Israel shows that a booster shot dose provided up to 4 times as much protection against infection from the Delta variant than the previous 2-dose regimen. The Dominican Republic, Hungary, Germany, and other countries have either already begun administering booster shots, are close to it, or are considering it. And Pfizer said Wednesday that a booster dose of its vaccine provides a 3-fold increase of neutralizing antibodies. President Biden also says that another attack at the airport in Kabul is, quote, highly likely in the next 24 to 36 hours. So they are as prepared as you can be for this to happen again. So they are on high alert. President Biden says that Saturday today, that his national security team warned that an attack in Kabul at the airport is highly likely in the next 24 to 36 hours. They are prepared as you can be, and that they are aware that this could happen and it is likely to happen again. So they are aware that it could happen and as prepared as you can be for an attack. The latest threat assessment follows a U.S. drone strike that killed 2 high-profile ISIS-K members that the U.S. did as a retaliation attack against ISIS-K for their suicide bombing that has killed over 100 different Afghans and 13 U.S. service members. The U.S. has confirmed that they have killed at least 2 ISIS-K leaders in a U.S. airstrike in retaliation, and there could be more, especially depending on what happens here over these next few days. I will keep you updated on this unfolding situation. Now, the Democrats in Congress are potentially going to be passing an extension of the eviction moratorium, which would be yet another extension, as the Supreme Court has overruled President Biden's eviction moratorium now for a second time. Yeah. This is the second time the Supreme Court has overruled the President Biden administration's eviction moratorium within the last several months. The Supreme Court, it has a Republican majority right now. There's 6 Republicans on the Supreme Court and 3 Democrats on the Supreme Court. We know this because Republican presidents appoint Republican justices, Democrat presidents appoint Democratic justices, and that is exactly how the vote fell. All 6 Republican justices voted to overturn President Biden's eviction moratorium, and all 3 Democratic Supreme Court justices voted to hold the eviction moratorium in place. The vote was 6-3 to overturn President Biden's eviction moratorium. So as you can see here, the U.S. Supreme Court has ended the pandemic residential eviction moratorium in a 6-3 vote. So again, political opinions do actually make it in the Supreme Court. Very oftentimes you see votes, not just this year, this goes on for, if you look at the history of the Supreme Court, for many, many, many years, you see right now we have a little bit more of a lopsided Supreme Court. It's 6-3, 6 Republicans, 3 Democrats. But a lot of times in the past, it was 5-4, 5 Republicans, 4 Democrats, or 5 Democrats, 4 Republicans. A lot of times in many, many years, it's always 5-4, 5-4, 5-4. And if you look back in the history of the Supreme Courts, many, many times it's 5-4 with them always voting along their political lines. I don't know why it's like that, but it's been like that for many, 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 many years. And that's why there was a big stink about what happened with the Supreme Court justices when Mitch McConnell denied former President Obama for almost a whole year for him to elect a Supreme Court justice. If you remember that whole debacle, for lack of a better word, when he wouldn't let former President Obama elect a Supreme Court justice for almost a full year in his last term of presidency. But then he did elect a Supreme Court justice, Amy Coney Barrett, in like the last month of former President Trump's presidency. Yeah. I don't even have any words for that. You can let me know your thoughts in the comments. The thing about this is Supreme Court justices stay there for life. They stay there for life. So they literally can serve a 50-year term or more. Well, I guess it depends on when, how old they are. If they are elected when they're 40, they could stay there for 50 years or 40 years or something like that. So being a Supreme Court justice is a life term. So it makes a big deal. So basically, the Supreme Court has said here that if they want to extend the eviction moratorium, that they need to pass it in Congress. The House of Representatives and the Senate need to pass it. And, well, that is what they're scrambling to do. Of course, the Democrats think this is, as you can see here, a, quote, arbitrary and cruel. Democrats exasperate Supreme Court decision on eviction moratorium. Of course, Republicans think the exact opposite. A lot of Republicans actually side with the landlords because a lot of landlords have not been paid for over a year now from renters that have been basically not paying the landlords. And remember, a lot of landlords, there are some landlords that are corporations, but there are a lot of landlords that are just regular old everyday people. In fact, a lot of landlords are actual retirees that have actually taken out mortgages and are just not getting paid. And so it's a very tough situation. In fact, here is White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki on this situation and the rent assistance problem. The problem with the rent assistance, I have a really good video I'll link to you at the end of this video on how to get rent assistance. You can actually get up to 12 months of your rent paid for by the third stimulus check package. It's a really good stimulus provision. You can get up to $10,000 or $15,000 of your rent paid from the third stimulus check package if you know how to do it. I'll link you to a video on how to do that at the end of this video. But here's White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki on this whole situation.
Sure. Well, first, President Biden would, of course, support congressional action to authorize an eviction moratorium, and the Supreme Court has now clearly outlined that as the sole way a moratorium could remain in effect. Now, at the same time, I think it's important to remember what our objective is here. Our objective is to keep as many people around the country in their homes as possible. Federal legislation is one way to do that. Obviously, the eviction moratorium we have had in place and we've been issuing month to month is one way to do that. But the ERA funding that came through the American Rescue Plan and is going out to states is another way to do that. And we have asked, and we have put out today, the Department of Treasury and the Secretary of HUD sent a letter calling on all governors, mayors, county officials to put in place their own moratoria. There are 7 states across the country who have done that. It has the same impact, right? Because it is preventing people from being kicked out of their homes, and these states have the funding, thanks to the American Rescue Plan, to get that done.
Congresswoman Representative Cori Bush says, "We were outside the Capitol for 5 days previously. Rain, heat, and cold. She actually slept outside on the Capitol steps to get the eviction moratorium extended for this previous time. And she was able to do it. I actually gave her credit on the show, and a lot of people gave her credit when President Biden extended it the previous time. She says, if they think this partisan ruling is going to stop us from fighting to keep people housed, they're wrong. Congress needs to act immediately for every unhoused or soon to be unhoused person in our district." And she quotes, "The Supreme Court blocks the Biden moratorium on tenant evictions in a 6-3 vote by the Supreme Court." Yeah. Now, note that there are certain states, I think she quoted 7 different states that have extended the eviction moratorium, like California has extended the eviction moratorium until September 30th on their own, until 2021. And also, I had an article that New York is considering an emergency session to possibly extend it in New York. So note that some states are considering extending eviction moratoriums in their state. Now, Bernie Sanders is also largely considered the person in charge of the next stimulus package. Not only is he fighting against Republicans, remember, not a single Republican is in favor of this next stimulus package. In both of the preliminary votes in the House and the Senate, basically the motions to proceed, which has had all the Democrats vote yes in the motions to proceed in the House and the Senate. All the Democrats, again, in the Senate voted yes, and all the Republicans for the next stimulus package voted no in the Senate, and all the Democrats in the House, all the Democrats voted yes, and all the Republicans voted no on the $3.5 trillion stimulus package. That is how the vote went down. So I know a lot of people are really concerned about this next stimulus package, but all the Democrats did come together and vote yes. All the Republicans voted no. I know there's a lot of confusion about this, but that is what happened. There is a lot of Democrats fighting among themselves about the size of the next stimulus package and what's going to be in the next stimulus package. That is kind of part of the negotiation process, okay? We have some Democrats like Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, you know their theme song, right? Dun, dun, dun. They're kind of quabbling, saying they're not sure if they want to spend a total of $3.5 trillion. But then we have some other Democrats saying we need to spend more. Now, ultimately, this is part of the negotiation phase, the negotiations in general. But they did vote yes on the initial votes to proceed. Now, that does not necessarily mean that they might negotiate down and it might end up being a little bit less. Okay. There's also some Democrats in the House of Representatives that are saying the same thing, that they don't want to necessarily spend $3.5 trillion. Now, this stimulus package is different than all the previous stimulus packages. Now, remember, former President Donald Trump actually had 5 stimulus packages. Only 2 of them had stimulus checks. I always get a few comments whenever I say that former President Donald Trump actually passed 5 stimulus packages. Most people don't know that. I always get saying, Jimmy, no, you're wrong. He only passed 2 stimulus packages. He passed 2 stimulus checks, but there was actually 5 stimulus packages in total. He had three other minor, very, very minor, very, very small stimulus packages that didn't have stimulus checks in there, that had stuff for like paycheck protection program money, money for the vaccines, and 3 other minor stimulus programs or stimulus packages. But former President Trump actually passed 5 stimulus packages in total. President Biden has now passed 1 in total, and they're now working on the physical infrastructure package that has passed the Senate fully and is now waiting in the House. But the House has now voted to work on the stimulus package, the $3.5 trillion stimulus package first. Okay. That was the motion to proceed that just happened, I don't know, like a few days ago, 5 days ago or so, in that big vote that passed the House, 220 Democrats to 212 Republicans that all voted no. That huge vote was a very, very crucial vote because that vote, even though it was just a motion to proceed, and I seen some comments saying, why did they need to vote in the motion to proceed? That was actually a very, very crucial vote because that vote meant that they were going to move forward with the stimulus package first instead of the infrastructure package, because the infrastructure package has actually passed the Senate first. They've actually have the bill written and passed in the Senate. They only need to pass it in the House. But Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, has insisted that they work on the stimulus package first. So for us that want to get stimulus out first, when we don't actually know what's going to be in there, child tax credits, adult tax credits, Medicare benefits, rent assistance, mortgage assistance, internet assistance, utility assistance, all these additional ways that they're going to put money in people's pockets, like child tax credits, adult tax credits, all these additional ways that they're going to put money in people's pockets, free college, lower prescription drug prices, all the things on this list. Remember that there's going to be a lot of creative ways that they're going to put money in people's pockets, like you can see here. So again, a possible fourth stimulus check, but a lot of these other things like Medicare expansion that is going to go forever, hearing coverage, dental coverage, vision coverage, lower the Medicare eligibility age to age 60, child care tax credits is going to give child care to some low income people for free, and significantly reduced childcare for low and middle income families. Child tax credits. Remember those $250 to $300 monthly checks? Those end at the end of this year. So those stop for 65 million people unless they extend that. They want to extend that till 2025, but those monthly checks for 65 million families, those end this year. So if they don't extend that, you're no longer going to get those checks. 2 years of free college. I mean, that alone, for anybody that goes to college or wants to go to college, that's tens of thousands of dollars. And they're going to make that available to everybody, not just teenagers. So you can be 20 years old, 40 years old, 60 years old, or 80 years old. You're going to be able to go to college. Okay. $25,000 homebuyer tax credit. That could be available in this package or the next package. Mortgage assistance and rental assistance. Okay. I'll link you to a video on how to get that. I just did a video on that in the last day or two, but you can literally get up to $10,000 or $15,000 of rental assistance from the third stimulus check package. It's available in all these states right now. Utility assistance, you can get hundreds of thousands of dollars in utility assistance. Internet assistance, the $50 off your internet bill or cell phone bill from the website getemergencybroadband.org. You apply right on that website, getemergencybroadband.org. That's the website. Thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of our viewers have gotten that, and they get it every single month. It's just one of these stimulus programs that puts money in your pocket via these stimulus programs. Possible debt forgiveness like student loan forgiveness, but other types of debt forgiveness that are going to be coming in the future after student loan forgiveness, like mortgage debt forgiveness, credit card debt forgiveness, tax debt forgiveness, medical debt forgiveness are going to possibly be coming in the future after they do the mass rounds of student loan forgiveness. So student loan forgiveness is possibly just the start of it. Paid family and medical leave is going to be part of this next program. And again, when the government gives you paid family and medical leave, that's just another way of putting money in people's pockets. Adult tax credits is going to be for probably for people making under $50,000. We'll get more details on that once the bill is released and once they pass this package. Once they pass this package, we're going to find out a lot more things on how all these packages work. So once the bill is passed, we're going to be getting a lot more details after the bill is actually passed and we dive through all these details, lower prescription drugs, unemployment tax credits, all these details. It's going to take me several days to weed through all this information. Some of these things that you have to apply for, like internet assistance, rent assistance, utility assistance, free college, Medicare expansion. We're going to be figuring out how to apply for all these things and get you guys all these different benefits But remember, all these things like the third stimulus check package, and remember, this package is almost twice the size of that. There's going to be a lot of things in this package that you guys will be able to apply for and get, or that might become available later on that I will walk you guys through, and you guys will be able to get. All these different things are different ways to put money in your pocket that are all part of a stimulus package. Remember, a stimulus package has literally dozens and dozens and dozens of these different items. And that's the cool thing about this package is, or any package, is there's more than just one item in this or in any package. And this is the largest package of all, almost twice the size of the third stimulus check package. So there's going to be a lot of different buckets of money in this next package. And once they pass the bill, and we start to get details about everything and how everything works, like the internet credit, rent assistance, mortgage forbearance, SNAP credits, internet assistance, all these different things that we're gonna figure out how they all work after they pass the package. We'll figure them out together, and I'll give you websites and how to apply and how this works, how that works, and how all these different things work, so that we can get you guys as much of these assistance and as much of these tax credits, and figure out all these different things like this $50 off internet credit that's every single month. I mean, all those little different things add up, and these rent assistance that some of you guys have got that are literally tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, if you get one of those things, I mean, they really add up to a lot of money. So make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. After subscribing, click the bell icon that appears next to the subscribe button and click it to all notifications to get reminder notifications when we go live, which is every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also share this video with your friends and family. There's a share button down below. You can copy the link and send it to your friends and family that also need to know about this information. You can click this video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video, about halfway through, is about the rent assistance, how to apply, and different links and information about how to apply for rent assistance. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.